Hello there, this is OuchCouch, and I am Metal Freak Neo. This is a place where I talk about stuff that irks me the most on Fridays. And today I am pretty angry for whatever reason it is. Well, not pretty, maybe a little bit, or more than just a little bit. Anyway, and I'm sort of not feeling well. My throat is uh, in a bad place. Weather, sweat, like the anticipation of eating ice cream. You tell me one of them must be the reason. Anywho, I am angry for some reason, as I just said. Ugh, I'd have to probably edit this in post, which I'm not good at, and nobody is listening to it anyway, so who cares, right? So I would love to report that this has been a good day. Like I have seen worse Fridays in this month, even. So, still, for some reason, I'm angry, mildly. So, what I would want to talk about right now that I just realized, and I always know it, but I am willing to acknowledge it right now because I think that it is a good place to acknowledge and let it go, even though it's gonna stay with me. So, the thing I was wanting to mention is how one emotion or feeling I have that overpowers all the others, and all of the others' emotions are finally like being dictated by it, or like ends up into being this one, which is no surprise there, fear. So, whatever I'm feeling, happiness, sadness, anger, or frustration, whatever it is, it always ends up being fear. Like everything. Uh, let's just be a little woozy goosey there. I am unable to, what can I say, enjoy pleasure like down there for one particular reason, and that's fear. It feels like if I do that, if I'm feeling good for like 25 seconds, it's gonna ruin something for someone else that is important for me, which mostly, let's just say, parents and family members. Like something might happen to them just because I'm happy. And don't ask why I feel that way, but when whatever, how random it is, doesn't matter, happens like within whatever time period, but that's after once you experience pleasure. At least I experience pleasure, it always makes me think that it's on me. I made it happen. I experienced pleasure, and that got them into this pit of despair or whatever it is. So that's just one example I'm giving, and it's the most what can I say, alluring one so far. It isn't that alluring, maybe, who knows. So it is the same with anger or sadness. Like right now, well, not now, like 20 or 30 minutes ago, I was angry for some reason, and later I felt like the anger subsided and fear took over. The fear of having have something to be happening to the people I was angry at, because you know it always gets me in everything. And even if the anger is towards someone I don't even care for, it feels like now I'm angry, now I am lashing out on them. It might affect me someday, it might like ricochet on me someday in some other way. They might be angry at me too, they whatever happens, and maybe they are better people, their energy is better, whatever. I don't even give a thing about those energy or whatever thing either. In But it feels like that I'm not even good enough to like shield myself against whatever is coming, like as if I am not good enough to be angry at other people. Like, even though initially my anger or my other feelings would not go there, would not get into that fear, but once I'm starting to experience it, it would within a few minutes translate into fear. Same goes with happiness. Like, for example, I got some breakthrough at work, no matter how small it is, generally it's small. My work is not that wow yet. Sometimes it gets, but mostly not that amazing. So, I mean, the kind of work I do, not that my work isn't amazing. Haha, got you there. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. But I was trying to say that if I make a breakthrough at work and I'm happy about it, the fear would like overpower me, saying that okay, now you are enjoying this, we'll get you there, bitch. Like something else would happen to someone and I would be worried about them. I would be feeling guilty that I am trying to be happy and this person is suffering. So always this fear gets me going everywhere, and I think it has something to do with the kind of upbringing we have as middle class kids, like kids from coming from middle class South Asian families. We are always like encouraged to push ourselves forward, not being satisfied with whatever we have, like whatever we are achieving. Like you are like in top three, why aren't you like the top one? Things like that. Not necessarily that was true for me, because not everyone can be in the top five or top three in the class. I was never. So yeah, well, unless, well, sometimes, but mostly I wasn't. But the pressure is always there, and we are always like expected not to relax, not to be okay with what we have. Like we have to be like dissatisfied and thriving. So it was expected from us since we could probably walk and talk. So that kind of settles in. But most people overcomes that. I mean, overcome that. Oh God. Anyway, what I was saying is most people overcome that part and like get accustomed to it, and somehow grow around it, or let these things go from their brain or their mind and their bodies. I can't do that. I have OCD, and this is what my OCD feels like. So it gets me bad. I always get stuck in things like, okay, so happiness is cancelled for like 25 days. And and like I said, fear is the only thing that stays. So there's that, like, the Pandora's box thing. They say that the fairy of hope is there and everyone else is gone. For in my case, I only have the fairy of fear. That one does not go. That one has never gone. That like is the most constant thing have that has been the most constant thing in my life always. So that's what I'm very mad about today, and I'm like really talking like I have been, I don't know, too tired. I am not tired, but I am sort of mad. I don't know what else to say. Okay, I kinda do. Let's get to the fun part. So, yesterday I watched a podcast between two dudes, Jonathan Tilson and Stephen Pratt. They are pretty funny dudes. The podcast is called Recoil Now Podcast. You can find it on YouTube. They are funny guys. Like, yeah, I don't have any reactions to that, but like I laughed pretty hard at some points, and I was drinking masala tea, and I almost like got some in my windpipe or esophagus or whatever you call that. So there was that. It was pretty funny, and I don't know what else I have to say today other than my confession of not confession, my realization regarding my like fear and the other emotions and other feelings, and how it overpowers and dictates my life all the time. I am driven by fear. I achieved good things well, I don't think so. Now that I think about it, I have only achieved positive things in my life when I was not dictated by fear. But I tell you something, it's the hardest part. It like everything else that we do, whatever it is, calculus, programming, big tests, or like quadratic quadratic equation, nothing is more difficult to me than overcoming my fear, overcoming the fact that something else is going to happen to me or someone else if I do this or if I do not do this. Nothing else dictates me worse than that. I don't know. Maybe somebody is going to hold this against me. Somebody is going to manipulate me using this information. Who knows? What I know is I am SEREWED. So there you go, I guess. Good night.